Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Races Driving League Season 14 for round number 17 of the Championship, the Singapore Grand Prix, here at the Marina Bay Street Circuit. Fabulously lit up underneath the night sky. We should be in for an absolute cracking evening of racing action. So make sure to stick around for this one tonight. Full grid of cars, but crucially, without one of our title contenders, Che Oliver, not with us this week. Already sits 19 points back in the Championship. If our leader, Grumio, can take some more points today, he could be a step closer to securing a 6th RDL Championship. So a major opportunity to open a gap at the top of the standings here after last week's race in Monza. We're down to the final lap between those two. Very entertaining stuff indeed, but looking forward to what should be a very exciting race this week. We also welcome back an old face to the RDL for tonight. Lucky Lambert in the Mercedes, of course, competed over the course of the last couple of seasons. Haven't seen him so far this season, but it's good to see him back here tonight in the reserve role. So looking forward to seeing what he can do on his return with some of these newer competitors and a few of the old ones they'll remember from the good old days a couple of seasons ago. Right, in terms of the race tonight then, so we're looking at what should be a very entertaining Grand Prix, and I'm hearing potential chances of weather kicking up over the course of the night, so we'll have to look out for that. Safety cars have been a regular issue just in league racing in general, this sort of track. Singapore always notable for serving up chaos. So hopefully we'll try and avoid that as best we can tonight. Everyone will try and take it nice and easy, be able to give us a good show and a good race between them as well. One of the longer tracks on the calendar here. We see Ethan making his way around with the first car to start a flying lap. Ethan running P7 in the Drivers' Championship, tied with Websy as it stands, so we're looking to try and outscore the Ferrari driver tonight. She's 11 points back from TJ, so that spot perhaps finishing as high as 6th place, not out of the question just yet. And there's no sign of Landlord tonight as well, so a good race could put him right back up there in the race for 5th place in the Championship, which I dare say isn't over for those 4 drivers. Landlord, TJ, Websy and Ethan, all the chance here. Keep an eye on the Red Bull as he comes around to start his first flying lap of the night. Right on board the Red Bull on the exit to start the Singapore Grand Prix laps. Down towards turn number 1. Decently sized run to that first corner. Want to try and hit the curbs into the braking zone nice and easy through turns 2 and 3. Coming very fast in this first sector. Straight setting us up for turn 4 and then through turn 5 here. Nice and smooth. DRS about to come to play for the first time. And Pope already retiring the session in the pit lane. If memory serves correctly, I believe he may have a ban of some kind. I'm not entirely sure. Through the left hander there. Good stuff so far. Decent first split. Into a bit more technical second sector now. And down that long straight towards what used to be the old Singapore sling. Of course, changes made to the circuit to get rid of that corner. Underneath the tunnel and going into that very tight left-hander. Good exit, keeps away from the curbs. Don't want to get too close to the inside of the circuit. And DRS now redeployed for Ethan. Comes towards that second sector split. Let's see what you got here. 1 minute 4.489. Not too bad at all. And now into the final sector, of course. A lot of this being removed and replaced with one long straight here. Coming on to here, it'll be a long straight run from here all the way to the final corner on next year's game. That'll be F1 23. But for now, there's a rather technical final sector into the chicane. He's got underneath the bridge nice and easy. And now heading towards those last few corners on the circuit. Those 2 very fast left-handers into the last turn. Trying to avoid going wide, and over the line he comes. 1 minute 37.5 is the first lap of the night, and it's set by Ethan in the Red Bull. So good time for the drivers to try and beat. Here's the Alpine of Curtis coming through. So try and beat Ethan's time if you can. Good banker lap for the Red Bull to start off. See what the Alpine can do here. That's a bit slow going into those last couple of corners. He's made it stick though. 1 minute 38.0, so about half second off at the end of his first lap. Keep an eye on PJ Khaled now, comes towards the line. But into the pit lane though. He's invalidated his lap. One of the Aston Martins on his way through. And that'll be Grumio, who shoots the top of the timing boards there by almost a full second, even on those medium tyres. So the championship leader in fine form after the win last night in Monza. Only two pole sitters over the course of this season. Those 2 being our 2 title contenders, Grumio and Oliver. So perhaps could we see a 3rd pole sitter on the grid tonight? Of course, a number of strong cars in the field as usual. The 2 McLarens, C110P Fan and BJ. course, fans still coming off of his win in Belgium a few nights ago in the Takeover Racing League. Still looking to try and carry some of that form into Singapore here. Ethan's time still good enough. Second it stands. Ericsson's just gone third, just in front of Mr. TJ there, who's managed to outclass his teammate on his opening lap. Lucky Lambert running in 6th place right now. Lycon in 7th. Zach Sherman, the slowest time so far in the order. Here comes one of the McLarens towards the line. Fan and validated there. 1 minute 38.4 is his lap. That would be enough to put him just in front of Zach Sherman. So not a good start. But BJ's gone second fastest now. Just 2/10 off of Grumio as it stands. And Che will be hoping for a misfiring performance from Grumio in order to try and stay in that championship fight. Now, if he was to maximise his points tonight, of course, he's already got a 19-point lead as it stands. To maximise that's the full 26. We're putting 45 clear in the championship, which is almost 2 race victories. So Che, despite having the majority of the wins so far this season, would need to rack up a few more in order to still have a chance at taking the title away from the Aston Martin driver, the perennial reigning champion of the series. A couple of cars coming towards the line here. They're all coming into the pit lane here. It's a long train, all making their way in. That's both Alpines, the Red Bull of Ethan's in as well. Here's Sniper Hunter running in P11, reserving for Landlord tonight. Into the final corner he comes, looking for a good lap time here. And he does, puts him to P4. So Sniper Hunter clearly looking to try and pick up the slack that Landlord would have left behind, potentially would have had tonight. Obviously, had there been just one Aston Martin in the field. Sniper Hunter doing a good job so far in that first run. Grumio putting on a set of soft tyres in. We're looking to go again potentially in this moment. BJ into the pit lane. What he's got right now is good enough for second. And Fan into the pits behind him, yet to set a valid lap time. 10 cars have set him so far. I see Ethan on his way through. Ethan's back at the pit lane. He's got the Ferrari of Websy just in front of him. Of course, those two are going currently tied in championship points right now. So both will need a good performance regardless. Tons of cars on laps. Huggy Bear on a lap as it stands. I dare say he's backed off from that first sector especially. Stamp on his way back through. Most likely making it to the pit lane. Yep, in he comes. And PJ Khaled, 27.2 in the first sector. One minute 4.7. Just a second, not too bad at all. BJ on his way around now. That final sector where Siege Spray comes out. It's not looking at the rest of laps as it stands. There's still 9 minutes to go, so about halfway through the session as it stands. So we'll see just how close things get. Out the final corner for PJ, puts himself P7. Not too bad a lap at all. And half a tenth behind TJ as it stands. Ericsson still running in 5th. Ethan down to 3rd here, but he's coming to the last corner to begin his next flying run. So he looks to try and improve about 6 tenths or so in order to put himself on the front row. So we'll keep an eye on him. In terms of stories we're covering in tonight's Grand Prix, especially coming from the Italian Grand Prix last week, of course, Daniel Aaron taking having another stab in the Williams machine. Of course, Williams fired Wardy from the driver lineup. In terms of qualifying last week, the majority of the field covered by less than a second, which I suppose could be drawn down to the track as well as much as could the field itself. Singapore, a very different circuit, so we'll look to see how close it is towards the end of the session. Right now it's looking quite spread out. And in terms of a team in form, look no further than the Alpine team, who as it stands have both their cars inside the top 10 and have both of them inside the top 5 last time out. So fantastic race for them in Monza. Let's try and improve on that, try and get some more points to close up to Red Bull and the Constructors. In terms of things to look out for tonight in particular, of course, I said the fight for pole position, which as of right now is going Grimio's way. So as I say, only 2 drivers on pole this season. So could somebody new set the best qualifying time tonight? It's all still to play for here. There's not too much longer in the session to go though. Here comes Fan going through. We might try and snag a pole position for himself if he can. We'll see where he comes out. And of course, one driver will be looking to try and perform tonight, Prolol, who hasn't done the best of the season so far. We want to try and finish off our higher 5 points from just the first 16 races of the season. So a bit of work to do there. Of course, AlphaTauri sitting at the foot of the Constructors' Championship. Closest competitors being Williams and then Alfa Romeo. So we'll see how things look for them tonight. I'll keep an eye on the two AlphaTauris. See if there's any progress made in particular. Here comes Fan through the second sector now. I see Zach Shelton go over the line for 3rd place. Fantastic lap from him. Webb's up to 5th place. So that moves Sniper Hunter down to the outside of row 3. And it gets moved down even more because there goes TJ through for 4th. Number of fantastic laps being set all at once there. BJ was 200 of a second up out of that second sector. We'll see what we can do in the last one now. He needs about 2 or 3 tenths in order to try and nick pole position off of Grimio here. We've got 6 minutes to go, so we're 2/3 of the way through the session. Alvar goes 8th faster, the round goes! The McLaren is out! BJ losing the car through the penultimate chicane, or through the final chicane rather, and the McLaren car out of qualifying. Hopes now for McLaren now rest on his teammate C110P Fan. 1 minute 4 in the second sector, into the last one now, and towards the line. It's only enough for P5, so things not looking too good for McLaren right now. Both their cars up there. As the cars make their way back out on the racetrack towards the end of those last couple of laps of the session. We'll see if he falls down the order anyway. Grimio look to improve now. He's going to be less threat behind him. In terms of improvements, we're not seeing a lot of those in the order. Sniper Hunter now down to 8th. We'll see what his second split looks like. Oh, he's a quarter of a second up on his previous effort. And that could put him around P5, maybe even P4 if he gets a good last sector as well. We'll keep an eye on him here. Of course, done a fantastic job with the cars, teams he's reserved with so far this season. Looks to try another illustrious night in Singapore to that record with the Aston Martin team tonight. Try and fill Landlord's shoes as best he can. And those are some big shoes to fill for a multiple time champion of the series. And around goes Sniper Hunter in the same place BJ did, but he's lucky to hang on to it there. That was very, very close, but that'll bring him at the end of his qualifying lap, unfortunately. And what looked like a decent lap as well. He's a quarter of a second up. His teammate coming through just behind him. He's into the pit lane as well. It's both Aston Martins coming in. Curtis goes over the line in 8th place. And around goes the Mercedes as well. Everyone losing that final sector. It's lucky Lambert comes over the line this time. Currently running in P13. 1 minute 38.1 is best effort so far. So that'll damage his last lap and also this one here. So I dare say he'll bring it into the pit lane in this run. And try and go for one more set of soft tyres perhaps in the closing minutes of this one. But he's going back around to the pit lane in time. He's got 4 minutes to get round. I think he should be okay. Here comes Dan now for the end of his out lap and the start of his first attempt at a valid time here. At the last corner he comes. We'll see what the Williams driver can do. As it stands, his teammate running in the 10th spot. 1 minute 37.832 is the best effort for the Williams team. So can Dan improve on that? We'll have to wait and see here. Only a few cars out on laps it stands right now. But I dare say they're all on cooldown laps, save for Dan. So we'll keep an eye on him here. We'll see one of the AlphaTauris coming out the pit lane. I believe that's Prolol. No, sorry, that's JB is on his way out. So we'll keep an eye on him too. 27.5 was Dan's first sector. So a solid start to the lap. We'll see if he can improve it. So there is the Red Bull slowing for him there. Nice and considerate from Ethan. Dan through sector 2 now. Yellow flag. That's a slow Alpine there. I believe that is Curtis who's backing off. Let's see where Dan gets put here. 1 minute 6 on this time. 1 minute 6.4. Not the best of second sectors. He may struggle to put himself up there with the top contenders as it stands. We'll see how he does in the last one though. May have grazed the wall ever so slightly. Into the bridge he comes. Good run to that chicane there, nice and smooth. Ethan will try not to lose it in the same place where several cars had before him here. Oh, and around he goes! But again, he keeps it out of the wall. So Snipe Hunter and Dan here, a bit better luck than BJ. He's now got 30 seconds to get back into the pit lane and bolt on those set tyres and go again. It's getting to the point now we're seeing the pit lane get very, very busy with cars all trying to be the last ones to go out. But make sure to have enough time to complete a lap themselves. And Curtis is out of the session. He's retiring in the pit lane there, so he's calling it a day. TJ is teammate on his out lap. So 8th place best Curtis can hope for right now. A minute 30 to go. More or less at the point now where you can't really get another lap in if you're in the pit lane right now. I'll give it a bit wide there. Unlucky Lambert out of the session now as well. He's gone straight on at turn 1 by the looks of things. Here's Lycon looking to try and finish his lap in time. I should say, we definitely get time for another one here, so long as nothing goes wrong in this final chicane. We just caught several drivers out tonight. Oh, I was very close to him hitting the wall, but he's managed to hold on to it regardless. Into the last couple of corners now. 1 minute 38 is best effort. Dan's out. Lycon goes P8. Fantastic stuff there. But Dan retiring in the pit lane. Unfortunate for him with the way that last have ended. 40 seconds to go. That's 40 seconds for anyone to get around to get a lap under their belts here. JB will be the last car looking to try and make it. I dare say he may just miss out. Might be the only ones to miss out. We'll keep an eye on everyone. Next car to come to the line is Fan. No doubt he'll make it. Ethan's just behind him. Zach Sherman, his teammate, running in 3rd place right now, looking to improve. Going to the first sector here, looking to try and increase his grip on pole position. JB looks like he's about to miss out. Here come the cars. Further back here, Alva with the last car towards the line. He'll just about get in time for another lap. JB won't, unfortunately. 15th place for him. Checkered flag drops. We'll keep an eye now on the next cars to come round. So the first car we'll see cross the line will be Courtney Godwin, who's already taken the checkered flag. So after that will be Ericsson, who is almost 4 tenths up in his second sector. That'll be enough to put him potentially as high as P7, so in front of his teammate Lycon, should he finish that lap. We'll see just where it puts him here into the final 2 left-handers. Keeping right on the throttle there. It's enough for P6. Fantastic lap there. And here comes Snipe Hunter. Grumio improving massively there from what I just saw him. I may have seen about 7 tenths. My eyes could be playing tricks on me regardless. We'll see what it looks like when it comes towards the line. Here comes Snipe Hunter at the last corner. It doesn't improve, only enough for P11 still. We've got a car around us. C110P fan has almost run into the Alfa Romeo. Lycon into the pit lane. Here comes Grumio towards the line here for a massive improvement. 1 minute 35.7. That is a fantastic lap and a fantastic way to cap off qualifying. And I dare say I don't see anyone catching that. Here comes Fan towards the line. Enough for P2. Puts it on the front row just in front of his teammate. But Zach Sherman might try and change that here. Towards the line he comes. Just misses out. Stays in P4. Webb's to the line behind. Half second up. Not enough for improvement. Stays P8. PJ Callard over the line there. We just seen Alva got to P6. TJ up to 3rd. Ethan's pit lane. No improvement on that front. Huggy Bear into the pit lane. And with that then qualifying is settled, and by a dominant margin here of 1.1 seconds. Grumio takes another pole position and will lead him to turn 1 with C110P fan alongside him and TJ in 3rd. What a fantastic lap we've just seen there. It's Grumio's 11th pole position of the season. 11 from 17 races. Unsure as to what the record is for most pole positions in a single season in the Racers Driving League, but whatever it is, he could be on course to smash that. He could take a maximum, I think, of 16 pole positions. Should he take the rest of them for the season? But for now, it's number 11 for our championship leader. After a fantastic lap, which you can catch a glimpse of at the end. Shades of Lewis Hamilton's pole position lap in 2018. So Grumio and Pham will lead the charge towards that first corner. TJ and BJ will up just behind him in 3rd and 4th. Zach Sherman 5th alongside Alvar. Ethan gets beaten by his teammate, lines up 7th. Ericsson next to him in 8th. And Websy and PJ Khaled round off your top 10. So that is the top 10 for the Singapore Grand Prix, which is starting in just a few minutes' time. So make sure to stick around and make sure to subscribe for any future audio content and the races over the rest of the season. We'll be back with you in a few minutes for the start. Welcome back into round number 17 of season 14 of the Racers Driving League, the Singapore Grand Prix here from the Marina Bay Street Circuit, and we are in for an absolutely fantastic race. But I do wonder, with no Challenger in the picture, who is capable of stopping Grumio tonight? 1.1 seconds clear in qualifying, and could that continue into the race? We'll have to wait and see if anyone has anything what it takes to stop him. Look at the two McLarens for inspiration. BJ and C110P fan lining up in the top 4. And TJ starting in 3rd, keeping on the two Red Bulls as well. Could try and move up the order. It has the capability to be a fantastic race, the full grid tonight, plus the return of Lucky Lambert to the grid as well. We're seconds away now from the final countdown to ready up and get this thing underway. So make sure to stick around for what should be a very entertaining race here tonight. And there it is. There is your final 30-second countdown for the start. Dry weather right now. This could go anyone's way. This one is going to be a race of endurance. As we enter the final 10 seconds now before the start. So good luck to everyone taking part in the race. Make sure to stick around. It's the Singapore Grand Prix next. So pull away from the grid then. There are your starting tyres. Majority of the pack, no risk takers this week. Everyone starting on hards and mediums. A difference in tyres for the front row starters in particular. Grumio going further into that first stint. Well, Pham will go faster at the start. So the Aston Martin for the 11th time this season will lead us out of the last corner onto the dummy grid to start round number 17 of the championship. He's got 19 points to the good here in terms of the championship over Chalova, who isn't here tonight, and that could be 45 if he maxes things out. Have to be keeping an eye out because he's still got points for a race ban, potentially looking at a race ban if something goes wrong tonight. We're hoping it doesn't. Home for a clean race tonight under the lights here at Singapore as the last two cars take their places on the grid. Be Pope and Dan here 31 laps on offer here tonight, the Singapore Grand Prix. To go to 5 red lights for round number 17 of the championship. And it's lights out, foot to the floor, go, go, go. Grimio gets a decent getaway over Fan as they charge towards that first corner into turn 1. He might try and get clear of the McLaren. He is clear of the McLaren by a long way. Grimio pulls out into the lead by the first corner. TJ up into second place. Fan drops back to third. A lot of cars. It's all Celtic in the back. Yellow flag already at turn number 2. It's Ericsson who spun up, but he's recovered the car nice and quickly there. Aside from that, relatively instant free. TJ up to second place now. So fantastic stuff from him there. We've got a car. I thought I was loose in the back there. That's the Haas of Lycon, but looks like he's got away with it. All clean there. Going towards the end of the first sector, it's Grimio who leads then by 7 tenths over TJ. Fan down to third, and BJ stays consistent in fourth. A very fast start there from Grimio, quite different to what we've seen from him so far this season. He's said it himself, he's not brilliant on the starts. Chelover has taken advantage several times of that this season, but Che obviously not in the race tonight. So Grimio handled that to absolute perfection here. He leads by a second already as we come to the halfway stage of the first lap, making his way through that very tight left-hander. That Aston Martin in peak condition. He's got about as big a lead as he did in qualifying already, charging out front here to a fantastic lead this early on. Yellow flag in the second sector. What's that all about? Maybe a bit of contact between the two Mercedes cars perhaps. Lucky Lambert and Pope looks like got caught up in it. No end plate for Prolol there on that Alpha Tauri, so a couple of cars may have gotten damaged from that, but I think everyone else is okay. Snipe Hunter falling back to the field here, so he's definitely caught a piece of that. Down to the back of the pack, pulling over to let everyone through there. It's packed quite split up now from the top half to the bottom half as Grimio comes through to lead the first lap of tonight. But can he lead the next 30 and hold on to take the victory? A lot of racing still to be done here. So one more lap until DRS comes into play. Alva running in 6th place here. He's stayed consistent on the start. He looks to try and take Zach Sherman if he can through this first sector, but it would be a lot harder to do that without the use of the drag reduction system. That rear wing opening on the back of the car. PJ Callum into the pit lane here. He's also going down there in the pits. So he may have got a piece of that. Yes, he did. End plate missing on that Alfa Romeo, so wing change is in order and a fresh set of medium tyres going on the car. In terms of drivers who have gained the most places so far tonight, you're looking at JB and Prolol, the two Alfa Tauris have both gained 5 places each, so a good start from them. And PJ Cad now, we're banking on a safety car of some kind because he's got a lot of work to do now in order to get himself back into the hunt here. Grimio 1.2 seconds to good right now. TJ running in second. It's still Fan and BJ running third and fourth. Single file here. Not a huge amount of places to overtake here in Singapore. A race about keeping your nose clean, but also maybe you have to take your chances if you can. And there goes Courtney Goldman taking a huge chance there, passing Prolol. He's gained 4 places now. Yellow flag behind, and that is Daniel Aaron. He's had some kind of altercation there, but he's fallen down to P19 here, which is still 1 place up in his original starting position. There are your tyres. We've said in the formation lap an even split between mediums and hards. It's in the majority of runners are looking to try and go further into the race. So 11 cars on hards right now and 9 on mediums. Grimio sets the fastest lap once again. It's completing lap number 3 here. He's only 1.5 seconds clear. So won't be too concerned when the race control says that DRS is enabled, which it is now. But Fanberg is trying to take advantage if he can. We've got Prolol falling towards the back. He's coming to the pit lane here. So he'll also to repair that end plate damage which he couldn't repair on the first lap. So he'll join PJ Khaled down towards the back of the order, quite a way off the pace. DRS deployed now. Both McLaren cars can just try and close back in on Mr. TJ. Here comes Alvar trying to chase Zach Sherman. He's going to look to the outside, going towards the left-hander. Very close to the pair of them, but runs a bit wide there. And Zach Sherman gets the jump and stays in front of the Williams machine. It's snapping at his heels right now. Not willing to let go of the back of that Red Bull. And Pope passing Huggy Bear as well. Of course, Pope coming from the back today. Ericsson trying to make a move on Huggy Bear if he can. Might look to the outside here. Ericsson back up to P16 after that instant on the opening lap. On the chase here, looking towards the left-hander. Prolol out of the race already. Our first retiree of the night. Virtual safety car for the stricken Alpha Tauri of Prolol, which we can't see if there's any damage or not. I assume there is. He may have just lost the car out of turn number 3 there. So unfortunate for him. Our first car out of the race tonight. Really needing a strong result, but unfortunately it won't go his way. I have to look forward to next week instead. So Gremio then his tear through the field, or not through the field, but his escape from the rest of the pack rather, is halted for a moment. Huggy gets a 5-second penalty for exceeding the check limits. First penalty handed out of the night. So wait for the green flag to come back out. We go back to racing here on lap number 4. Fan just 4 tenths back from TJ. So that DRS definitely helped him last time around. We're looking to try and make that work again as soon as the green flag flies once more. DRS redeployed and we're back to racing. And Fan has played perfection. He's right on the back of that Alpine. This could be a very insane battle for P2, especially if BJ gets involved as well. Here they come now. DRS deployed on both McLarens to make their way towards that left-hander. He's closing, but not by much. It's not enough to go for a move here. So TJ holds on to second place. But BJ might try and make a move on his teammate. Not going to happen. Those two have great chemistry on the racetrack. No one's giving each other space. Of course, a while ago now, we still think back to round 2 in Saudi Arabia, sorry, when BJ helps Fan to the victory as Pope passing Cottony Goblin here. His next target is currently 3 seconds up the road. That's his new teammate for tonight, Lucky Lambert, replacing title contender Che. As things stands, those 45 points going the way. Oh, there goes JB, who's crashed the car there. And a full safety car deployed this time. Both AlphaTauris here out of the race this early on. Commiserations to the AlphaTauri pair who will stay glued to the foot of that Constructors' Championship just a little bit longer. And may allow, as it stands, Williams to continue to get away here. It's Alvar still running in 6th place. In terms of change of strategy, do we see anyone coming in for new tyres? In comes Fan in the McLaren. And BJ's going to follow him in too. The McLaren's double stacking here. They may be too close for it to have the desired effects for BJ, who's going to drop back massively here by the looks of things. Hard tyres going on Fan's car. In comes BJ. So double stop doesn't quite work, but they don't lose as much track position thanks to the safety car conditions. And they've gotten their one pitch to out of the way, so they can try and go as long as they can on those hard tyres. Whether or not they can take them 30 laps, I doubt they can. I doubt anyone can take those tyres 30 laps. Stan gets a penalty there. It's 5 seconds to his name before I thought it was a collision there, I think I saw. So one team eliminated from the race, and that being AlphaTauri. Danny re-emerges, and that'll be great news for PJ. He'll be able to catch back up now to the front, up to the main pack here. But I dare say we'll be going again lap 7. So Gremio leads then. And that advantage he had now brought down. And TJ's medium tyres rubbered in. Could he be a bit more of a threat to the race leader on the restart? I have to wait and see. Zach Sherman now 3rd. The Red Bull's looking good right now. 3rd and 5th for them. Alva up to 4th place. Of course, think back to last season. Now, Alva had quite a strong end to last season. Especially that podium in Brazil comes to mind. You're looking to try and repeat that if you can. Right now, he's a place away. He's a place away. So on to number 6 now. We've got a car in the pit, and it's Ericsson the Haas. Let's make a change here. Hard tyres go on the car now. So what may be happening here is those guys who change onto hard tyres could bank in on another safety car towards the end. Be able to perhaps put on a fresh set of softs or a fresh set of mediums depending on how long there is left in the race to go. But 2 stops still on the cards, most likely. Sure, anyone trying to take that risk and going 30 laps, which could be a major, major gamble, which I don't see paying off. It looks quite impossible from where we're sitting now. And Dan in the pits as well. Hard tyres also going on for him. So then, in terms of how Grimmo's going to handle this restart, I have to see just where and when he can go. So of course, the best place to go back would be just out of the chicane. So that gives him a bit of time to get away before the final 2 left-handers there to end the lap. It doesn't know it'll be going this time. I have to wait one more lap for Dan to get back up to the front of the order. So in terms of those cars have made stops, both McLarens, Courtney Goblin, PJ Khaled, Snipe Hunter, Ericsson and Dan have all made their compulsory pit stops they need to make before the end of the race. So they can go wherever they want in terms of strategy. Top 10 plus Huggy Bear all yet to stop. We see the 2 Mercedes cars trying to work their way back to the field here. Lucky Lambert running P9, Pope running P10. The pack was quite split up after the incidents on the first lap. Practically cut in half with a knife. So it's good to see those guys back up the front and see if we can close in. So they can try and close in on some higher points here. Dan is catching up. It's getting towards the back of the order now. And we'll get started once again on lap number 8. In terms of position gain, there it is there on your left. As it stands, we're looking at Touch with Popus again in most places, up 9. 3 cars who are down 9. So Fan is down 9, BJ's down 9, and so is Ericsson. So both McLarens and the Haas. Aside from that, PJ Khaled is down 5 and Snipe Hunter's down 3 as well. So 5 cars who have lost places. Everyone else has either stayed neutral or gained them. And of course 2 cars out of the race. So obviously lost places there. And there it is, safety car in this lap. So we need to get back to racing this time. We're going to be really backing everyone up here. Waiting now on that safety car to make its way into the pit lane. He's keeping his distance from both TJ and Zach Sherman. And we'll see if he goes at that last chicane, if he goes later than that. Adair is backing up to try and go. And there he goes, good exit. Now Aston Martin to try and re-establish his lead before the restart. Green flag goes back out, the Mercedes pace car back in the pit lane, and back on the way. Weaves across the track there to try and break the toe single file through turn 1. Back on the way here. Oh, there was Lycon. Lycon had very nearly lost the car there. That could be the end of this race right there. Pope Lucky Lambert both getting through. Past that machine. There goes Pope trying to get around Lucky Lambert if he can. Behind them, BJ trying to take... Oh, yeah, they're going through the left-hander. He get them as well. Good exit from the McLaren. Up into P12. He'll get a turn now at Lycon. Grumio already 1.2 seconds clear again. TJ running second. Zach Sherman still in third. So everyone in the top 5 remains unchanged from the restart. Lucky Lambert now chasing Curtis towards the right-hander. Be a brave man to go for a move that late. .6 now to Grumio. From Grumio to TJ. 1.2 back to Zach Sherman. It's 0.3 back to Alvar. As Pope now passing Lucky. That Silver Arrow falling out of favour there in the race for P8. And Lycon might try to get back and get him back as well. It's coming through the end of the first lap after the restart. Grumio leads by 1.9 seconds now. And that 1.8 gone down just a little bit. But he's really pulling away. Colin Golden currently stuck in an Alfa Romeo sandwich. PJ got a bit too deep there into the right-hander. Will massively lose out and could fall out of favour in terms of the race for P15. Snap Hunter might try and take advantage. Not close enough by the looks of things. 2 seconds now. Grumio pulling away to a fantastic lead here this early on. That safety car almost never affected him. If anything, he's grown the lead stronger this time round. Alvar still there running in P4 as it stands. Of course, DRS been able next time around, so we'll see what he can do in terms of trying to get past that Red Bull in front. Oh, and around he goes! And again, the third sector catches another victim out, and this time it's the Williams of Alvar. Of course, get caught down out in qualifying, and now both Williams cars at the tail end of the order. And now push Ethan to fourth as Grumio again sets the fastest lap. 3.2 seconds. He's doubled his advantage in the space of 1 lap. And that's fantastic driving from the Aston Martin. 10 laps into this thing. Everyone getting quite spaced out now as the DRS gets redeployed. Lucky Lambert all the way over to the right hand side of the track. Here comes Pope trying to close in on Curtis. We'll also have DRS and use his battery. Close to Websy. We're going toe-to-toe with Ethan if he can. Remember, those two tied on points in the championship. It's now 90 points each. Still looking for that crucial result to push him ahead. And right now it's going the way of Ethan as Curtis almost loses his Alpine on the exit of that last right-hander. And Pope could try and sneak and take advantage. There goes the former champion to the inside, going towards the old Singapore, slitting last on the braking zone. In the braking zone. Pope takes away P6, but Curtis wraps his shuffle to try and get him back. Back out onto the DRS straight once again. Does lucky enough to try and close in and take away P7 for himself off of Curtis. Doesn't try it. Stays in line for the moment. Smart move. To McLaren, stalling in P10 and P11. Currently held up as it stands behind the Haas of Lycon, who's trying to pull away. He's about half a second clear of Pham right now. But now DRS has been redeployed. As I said, they have a better chance at trying to take away P9. There'll be a DRS zone down that main straight. But he'd have to be quite close in the exit in order to try that. He'd have to rely on Lycon running wide here. Grumio now 4.1 seconds to the good. Off that final corner. The McLaren's quite close to each other, let alone the car in front. Has to be a good run for this first sector as Fan goes back a little bit too deep there through turn 1, but gets away with it just about. Keeps the car in check, makes its way through turns 3 and now 4 and 5. Through the right hand, a good exit, but not as good as Lycon, who's going to try and close on Lucky Lamb if he can. But there goes BJ around the outside of Fan there to claim the place. So BJ's going to have his crack now and try to take on Lycon. So look to the inside, go late on the brakes, very close to contact. Lycon gives him just enough space to try and wiggle inside, but stays in front though. So good defending from the Haas driver. McLaren's going to come right back at him though. Pope past Curtis, then looking to try and take Websy now. Will he go for it? Down this next straight, we'll keep an eye on him here. DRS redeployed on both cars. He's just not close enough to go for it. TJ still running in second, doing a fantastic job right now. However, 5 seconds back from the race leader, who is controlling this thing so far. Pope right behind Websy as they come to the last two left-handers. And Grimmy with a penalty there. For multiple warnings. Now track limits penalty won't help his case at all. That brings his lead down to around 2 seconds. And he'll want to avoid those tonight. Number 12 here, about a third of the way into the race. Ramirez led the entire way so far from the lights to where we are now. So through the virtual and the real safety car. Lycon goes wide, allows BG on the outside. Into 9th place now, looks to try and close on Lucky Lambos. 2 seconds in the clear right now. Back up in the race for 5th place. It's still Websy leading Pope. He's starting to try and trail Ethan now. Trying to close in if he can. He's closer to the Red Bull than he is to the Mercedes behind. Grimio continues to expand his lead here. 6 seconds now in the clear. Gap between 1st and 18th right now, 30 seconds as it stands, and it's only been 13 laps with 7 of them on the safety car. Just shows you how quick Grimio is on this circuit in particular. Webb's in control of P5 still, but will lose out by 2 points to Ethan in the Drivers' Championship race. But they continue to fight on for P7, but I dare say P6 might slide their grasps a little bit here, given that TJ is running in 2nd place. A win plus fastest lap for TJ would be enough for him to steal 5th place in the championship from Landlord by just one singular point. Grimmy now 7 seconds clear. He's doing a brilliant job right now. Even with that penalty, can't see anyone stopping him as it stands. He'd need more. Sometimes chasing Cockney Goblin right now. He gets a good exit, could try and take him down the DRS straight, but no chance. Cockney trying to close in on the battling pair of Lycon and Sealanton B-Fan if he can. Against its fastest lap here, 1 minute 40.9. Only drives to say 1 minute 40 tonight. The closest lap after that being it looks at a 141.7 set by Fan. Seems to run with his teammate BJ here down this main straight. Trying to close a Lucky Lambert if he can. He's closing with it. Not enough to go for a move just yet. Yellow flag, sector 3, and that is Alvaro spun it down the main straight. He's going to allow Huggy through before he recovers the car. Get him still turn around. No damage done to that Williams. Both them plates still on the car there, so back to racing. Huggy Bear now, 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. That's 8 seconds he's got now. Gremio, 8.5 seconds clear. TJ, 4 seconds in front of Zach Sherman, who's another second in front of Ethan. Webster, the first car, then a second of the one he behind him. The one that's in front of, sorry. Right now he's got a rearview mirror full of Touch Me Pope in the Mercedes. He's come to the field here. 13 places gained, the biggest gainer so far. Gained more places than Alvar's lost from that spin. Of course, may have thrown away good points earlier with the spin through the third sector, which is unfortunately unlucky for him. Try and get back in the race best he can. Sniper Hunter passing PJ. Yellow flag here. That's Courtney Goblin who's almost gone straight on there. And Dan going slowly too. TJ into the pit lane here. Looking at tyres now in terms of that strategy. And Curtis staying out for one more lap here in order to go avoid double stacking. Sniper Hunter, PJ both also staying out. Courtney Goblin, Alvar. Neither one of them taking to the pit lane either as TJ makes his exit. Gonna re-emerge to the racetrack. Oh, around he goes! He's gone over the pit lane entry line, but no penalty for him. He's held up Huggy Bear in the process. Several passes here on the track. Pope passing Lampsey for fourth, and BJ getting around Curtis there. Sniper Hunter now passing Lycon. There's contact and around almost a run goes to Haas. Just about saves it and re-emerges in front of his just in front of his teammate Ericsson. But Sniper Hunter back inside the points places now. Of course, Aston Martin still looking to try and steal the Constructors' Championship as early as they can. They've led the entire season so far, a majority of the season at least. Now TJ's pitted, 14-second lead for Gremio. He taps the wall so slightly there in the run through the last chicane. Zach Sherman all on his own here, 1.2 seconds back to his teammate. It's for the one to Pope, another one to Websy. 1.7 to BJ, 1.5 to Curtis. He's got 2 cars in behind him. Webb's into the pit lane now. Hard tire's gone off the car. So we'll get to the halfway stage of this race. Medium tires going on there. Take those 15 laps to the end. Gremio already quite fast on those hard tyres. May try and go as long as he can. Those perhaps set of soft tyres to the end. Short of a safety car. I don't see anyone catching at this stage. Fan passing Lucky Lambert here. He's doing quite well on his return to the RDL. Around he goes as I say that. The commentators curse in full effect. Apologies, Lucky. Around he goes. Recovers the car, but down to P10 here. Still inside the points. But may have lost time before those first pit stops. Alvar currently being chased by Curtis. There's no DRS to help him though. Second lead he's got in lap number 16 in this race. A long way still to go, but look at that. So far clear right now of the 2 Red Bulls. running in second and third, but Hope might try and change that. Through turn 1. Hope over the curbs a little bit there. Gareth Pope here trying to close in on the Red Bull in front. Let's get close enough to him trying to stick a nose inside. Ericsson though chasing PJ Khaled. Might try and make a move here towards the left-hander, but again also not close enough. Alvar to make a move on Huggy Bear if he can. Give us an overtake here. All the best effects now for Romero. There goes to Williams to the inside and getting through. And Kurtz might try and take him as well, and he will take him as well. Double whammy for like Huggy Bear, loses 2 places in the space of one straight. Ethan closing a little bit here on Zach Sherman, his teammate. Lap 18 now. So 17.5 seconds. So Zach Sherman. Ethan into the pit lane here. So calling about an end to that first run. Medium tyres on that car as expected. Taking those to the end. To about 13, 14 laps on those. Here comes the Alfa Romeo of PJ Khaled, who starts on the medium tyres. Let's change the hard ones here. Connie Goblin 3-second time penalty. Websy now sets the fastest lap of the race there. Taking that fastest lap. PJ Khaled now made a second stop there because he started on the hards and switched to the mediums. It's not over yet for him. Opportunity perhaps still there for him to try and maybe score some points if he can. You need a safety car or something. Both Alfa Romeos now at the foot of the pack in terms of the running order. The top 3 yet to pit here. Still waiting on them all. In terms of tyres, 17 laps on all of them. They've been on them since the start of the race. Get the feeling that Grimmy will try and go longer here. He stays that once again. But what does Zach Sherman do? Good fast chicane here. We'll see what the Red Bull chooses to do. Staying out a bit longer. No, never mind. Then he comes to the pit lane. Yellow flag 62 and 3. That's one of the Williams cars by the looks of it. That's Dan went straight on there, but has recovered it nice and easy. No damage done to that car. It emerges in P13. Where will Zach Sherman emerge from his pit stop? Medium to go on the car to go to the end. He'll look to try and defend that podium finish if he can. He's taken a few of them this season. He's done a solid job racking up those rostrum finishes. Turning the field in P12 here behind his teammate crucially. Websy passing Courtney Goblin. Around the outside his Ferrari teammate into turn number 5. And now chasing TJ, who of course was running in second for the majority of this one. Ethan passing Courtney Goblin on the run towards the left-hander, who's last in the braking zone. Courtney still got his nose inside. Ethan stays in front and moves clear the Ferrari into turn 7. So, Alpine leads Ferrari, Red Bull, Ferrari, Red Bull. And Williams 5 seconds back for good measure. Huggy Bear making his way out the pit lane here. Medium tyres, fresh on that machine. Could be the first car to go a lap down if Grimmer gives them extend that lead. 19.5 seconds clear. of Pope now in second place. Pope staying out once again. Does BJ come in? No, BJ staying out too. Now, do the McLaren cars take a very crazy risk and try and run those hard to the end? It'd be a lot easier if they're the safety car of some kind. But then again, they may also put fresh tyres given the track position they have right now in front of a good number of machines. And quite a way behind them to the point they may not actually lose out in pit stops. Speaking of pit stops, Lucky Lambert in as well. Mercedes crew putting the hard tyres on the car. Excuse me, the medium tyres, sorry. Lucky Lambert will fall down to P16 now. "20 seconds now the gap between the two leaders right now. And both yet to make their first stops. Only two yet to pit. We'll see what Grimio does this time. It does look like he's opting for a mediums or potentially even a soft second stint. Stays out once again. These two are kings when it comes to time management. We'll see how long they can take those tyres into the last part of the race. So we're reaching the final 10 laps now this Grand Prix. That train is still there being led by TJ. Never mind the trolley train, we've got a TJ train here. But Courtney Gobbins dropped back from a little bit here. He's 4.7 seconds, 4.8 seconds back now. So he's lost the caboose on that train. Just wants to get the opportunity to try and hang out the last corner. DRS redeploy as they charge towards turn number 1. TJ defends the inside here. Webbs might try and stick his nose in around the outside. TJ shuts the door on him. No contact though. Webbs took on a calculated risk, didn't quite pay off there, and Ethan might try and take him as well, but moves back into line. Now we'll see what the Ferrari can do this time. Good X from the Red Bull of Ethan, who's closing in now. Might look to the inside of the Webbsy. Coach Shepard the penalty. Webbsy up the inside, very close to contact, forces TJ wide there in order to take evading action. TJ still in front, bit of contact there on the front wing of that Alpine, but he's got away with it regardless. Curtis and Lycon going side by side. Lycon looks to take the place here on the exit. They hit their touch. Curtis will attack the wall a bit as well. Lycon around the outside. Curtis seeds. Webbs in. Zach Sherman going at it. Zach Sherman very nearly forced off track, but he's got P8 now. And he almost looks like he's about to become best friends with that outside retaining wall there. That safer barrier. But he's gone away with it here. He's up into P8 place. Yeah, up into 8th place now. Again, Grimio and Pope both staying out here. 20 seconds the gap between them. BJ 2.2 back in 3rd place. Another 4 seconds back to BJ. Sniper's doing a very impressive job right now in 5th place. But I dare say we'll see one more stop from him before the end. I doubt we'll be able to go the next 10 laps on those mediums. Yellow flag. That's PJ Khaled. Not sure what happened there, but he's recovered the car nice and easy. Albeit down to P50. Grimio 19 seconds clear. Zach Sherman now to the inside of TJ. Good pass, and the Red Bull there up into P7. So 10 seconds forwards. Ericsson 6th place. Quite a quiet race here where he is right now. Almost 5 seconds back from Snipe Hunter and 10 back to 10 in front of Zach Sherman right now. The Red Bull looks to try and close that gap on those fresher, faster mediums. Alvaro the penalty. Grimio again stays out. Yellow flag, sector 1, and that is Lucky Bear's gone around. Wait for the Aston Martin to go through and recover the car now. Pope through again, also staying out. BJ staying out. Fan doing the same. Sniper Hunter, I have to wait for him to come to the pit here. I doubt it'll go to the end, all the way to the end on those tyres. It'll be about 25 laps I've done. Lycon passing Cockney Goblin here for P11. Again, those fresh and medium tyres doing wonders for him right now. Just 10 seconds forward to Ethan. Going on to the last points pay in place. In terms of position change now, it's still Pope on top, is 17 up. But that'll no doubt change once he pits. It could be down as low as, say, 8 places. If maths is correct. Keep an eye on him here for the rest of the race. See just when he stops. Move through the chicane here, keeping things nice and easy. No threats behind, as there have been throughout the race. On to lap 24. 8 laps to go. Websy chasing TJ here. Well, Zach Shelton trying to get away from the pair of them here. And he is doing just that. 1.7 in front of the Alpine now. Kind of going into the pit lane now. Those medium tyres coming off works and things. A set of soft tyres going on. Yes, they are. And a wing change as well. So could we see a late nick in fastest lap? It's still helping Websy right now. It's 1.4 Ferrari. Pope then still trailing in the footsteps of Grimio right now. He stays out another lap. How far into the race is he looking to go here? I dare say he's looking at a set. He's definitely got a set of soft tyres to go to the end on. Has he got space to try and stay out and to the last lap and then pit? Because he might do. Yellow flag 62, and that is one of the Mercedes cars. That's Pope. So it's not Pope, sorry, that in sector 2. That's Lucky Lambert has gone around. Pope into the pit lane though, he's calling it quits. On those tyres and going to mediums to the end. Those tyres look safe from the softs. Snap-on's up to 4th place now. Pope making his recovery, or his re-entry back onto the racetrack now. Keep an eye on where he comes out. It'll be just inside the points work of it. Yes, it will. Websy trying to get close to Can's TJ there. Of course, TJ's running in second earlier, but things are sort of falling apart for him now. Down 4 places off his original starting position. Snipe Hunter up 9. So is Tashi Pope. Coming through now to start up on the 26. Just 6 more to go. So in complete control this one. Just built that lead, and 45 points to be his lead should things stay how they are. That's a big gap for Chilwell to try and come back from in the Drivers' Championship. In terms of victory, should he hold on to it, this will be Grimio's 6th win of the season. More than any other driver. Unless it was to happen late on here, which he'll be hoping it doesn't. There's no sense of threat for him. Just got to bring it round to the end. Obviously still chasing TJ here. No luck with him. But Ethan's come up behind as well. Now to keep an eye on this fight, should it start to get interesting, because remember, as I've been saying all night, Ethan and Websy tied in the Drivers' Championship on 90 points each. Whoever finishes hard today will emerge with that spot in the championship, and right now it's going Websy's way, and Pope about to make it worse for Ethan here. Look at the inside. Good move from Mercedes there. He's up into P9. Oh, it's just 60 points for Pope this season, currently tied with Lycon. As it stands, will get the edge in that debate. And Pope now trying to take Websy if he can. To the inside of the Ferrari, who squeezes him just a little bit towards the apex. Pope still on the outside, not giving in. No chance from seeding. Coming very close to contact. They've been any closer, they may have banged tyres, they may have spun out. Lap 27 now for Grimio, 5 laps away from victory. TJ through start lap 27. There's 5 more laps for him to hold on to right now. His points finish more or less guaranteed unless something goes wrong for one of these guys behind. Still goes wrong for him perhaps. If he spins, he could easily lose that to Lycon, who is trying to take that last point for himself if possible. There are your penalties as it stands. 6 drivers with 3 seconds to their names. Zach Sherman trying to pass Ericsson here on the run towards that left-hander. He moves clear of him before they even reach the corner. Good move from the Red Bull driver. Pope trying to pass Websy here on the inside. Oh, getting 2, fantastic stuff. Sorry, Websy's still not done yet. Now he is. And Ethan might try and take advantage down that next DRS straight, which is coming up very fast here. Lucky Lambert, 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Lucky running in P14 right now. And Grimio into the pits here. So it's looking like a set of soft tyres to the end now. This is where things get interesting. I dare say he'll emerge out on the racetrack in front of BJ. Both of McLarens have made their stops already. Here he comes towards the exit lines. We're very close between the pair of them. And for the first time tonight, BJ takes the lead. Now it needs to be one hell of a defensive drive now from the Dutchman in order to try and take his 4th victory of the season. Grimio will be closing that 3-second gap down quite quickly. And he also needs to establish a 3-second lead by the time it's over, which might not be a problem for him at all. But BJ all of a sudden has a chance to win this race. That chance will be fleeting. The closer Grimio gets and the further away he gets, should he pass him. But Singapore is a difficult place to overtake at the best of times. Grimio want to close that gap down quickly. He's got 3.5 laps. It almost feels like a scenario from one of the older F1 games. Yellow flag, and that is PJ Calloway spun at the same place that Avar did earlier. He's lucky not to catch down the exit there. The other cars around him, the Alfa Romeo covers it without issue. That gap already down to under 2 seconds, as expected. Those faster soft tyres doing the job. A lot fresher soft tyres as well. Zach Sherman passing Snipe Hunt for 4th place now. Everyone's now made their stops. Gremio, the second car on soft tyres in this race. We're looking at a fastest lap here that no one will see capable of topping. On lap 29 perhaps. Now BJ has to use every trick in the book here in order to keep Gremio behind for enough time to find that he won't be able to gain anything. And there's Alvar on the pits. We've got Daniel Aaron has gone wide there. Look at Gremio there on the outside towards turn 1. 3 laps to go here. He's going to follow BJ to all the way to the left side of the track. At the outside for turn 1. Contact and around goes. Or BJ almost loses it. Gremio into the lead here. He's already second clear. Contact between Gremio and BJ, who may have just squeezed. Gremio may have squeezed him just a little bit too much there, because won't assign blame 21. But it was very close to those two. It's touch passes Ericsson for P6. And could take P5 off Sniper Hunter as well. Good points for Aston Martin as it stands. Opposed to try and change that. Around the outside, Sniper Hunter practically lets him through there. Oh, and around goes Sniper Hunter. No front wing left on the Aston Martin, and those points he was hoping for may be gone now. Up front here, Gremio's already established that 3-second lead he needs. Let's take another penalty for the current champion in order for him to lose this race. PJ disqualified from the session for blocking the pit lane here. Was there an incident to him in the Ferrari? There might just have been. PJ out of the session. Let's put the car over there on the side. No idea what's happened there. Let's bring out the yellow flag in sector 1 regardless. 2 more laps to go for your race leader up front. Just comes to the last corner now. Fastest lap 1 minute 38.8. That's quite a way clear of everyone else tonight. And BJ now at the session. BJ there crashing at the last corner. Better take a better look as Zach Sherman goes past. He may have just lost out of the turn there. Yes, he has. All of a sudden, we now have a race for 3rd place on our hands. BJ's championship chances were fleeting at first, but now he may have just given them the final kiss goodbye. Fan now running in second once again. Battling a Williams there. And Pope now trying to chase down Zach Sherman. Just got to look to the inside here. He's got the run underneath. He's been very, very close between them. They almost make contact. Zach Sherman stays in front. Pope was a bit wide there. Yeah, now 10.5 second gap between the two leaders. In a race that briefly looked in question for just a lap or two, that question very quickly put to bed. Now I don't know what Gremio's best track is, but if Singapore's not up there, I can't see why it wouldn't be. It comes through now to start the last lap of this race. He'd need right now a total of 4 penalties in order to be stopped. Sniper Hunter slow here. Car currently stuck in neutral by the looks of it. There he goes, going up. No issue whatsoever. Down to P13 now, so points for Aston Martin car looking unlikely. And there's fight to keep an eye on it here. 1 more lap to go to decide this podium place between Zach Sherman and the season 11 champion Pope. He's going to look to the outside, similar to what Gremio did on BJ, but doesn't get close to this time around. Websy passing Ericsson in this last lap. And both those guys are going to try and take away P5 and P6 off of TJ. He's got that penalty to think about. DRS deployed now for Pope. So trying to snatch P3 now. He's into the outside this time. Who's last in the braking zone? Oh, there's contact. Pope goes wide. But this time he's the one in front of Zach Sherman, so he rejoins the track in P3. Gremio meanwhile coming through sector 2 now for the final time. And he's a sector away from victory here. 15-second advantage. This is perhaps one of the most dominant drives I've ever seen in my time in league racing. As Grumio romping towards his 6th Drivers' Championship. That's just a few races away now. In the last couple of corners, led almost every single lap. He's come to set the checkered flag here. For his 6th win of the season, it's Salve Grumio who increases that championship lead to 45 points and wins here in Singapore. Fantastic, fantastic drive for him all round. Fan will come home in 2nd place in the end. Seeing his teammate lose it towards the end. And Open close in, trying to take away 3rd in the Drivers' Championship from his teammate there. And Pope, on the final lap, snatches that final spot in the top 3. Zach Sherman has to come home and be satisfied with 4th place. Webster takes away 5th. TJ in 6th. Ericsson 7th in the end. Ethan 8th. Lycon 9th. And Curtis take the final point on offer. Unlucky Lambert, on his return to the ODL, will finish in 11th place, short of nothing going wrong in this final part of the lap. Near perfection in tonight's race from Grumio. So his 6th win of the season as he makes his way another step closer, and a very big step closer. That's the biggest he's made all season, towards defending his title as the Racers Driving League champion. Potentially looking to bring the crown to Aston Martin for the first time since season 11 when Pope took the title, if my memory is correct. Which I'll just confirm on here. But regardless, he's a winner. Fantastic meteoric drive all the way. And yes, Aston Martin, their last Drivers' Championship and Constructors' Championship was back in season 11, and 3 seasons later, on course perhaps to do it again here, but it's not over yet. Anything could still happen. And I wonder if BJ have anything to say about the incident at turn 1. For now then, it's victory number 6 this season for your championship leader, Grumio. And the others hopefully talk to Fan and to Pope after their quite brilliant drives as well, no matter how far behind they were. Having looked at the final results then before we go to interviews. So Grumio wins the race, Fan in 2nd, Pope in 3rd place. Good podium finish for him. Zach Sherman home in 4th, Websy 5th, TJ in 6th, Ericsson 7th, Ethan 8th, Lycon in 9th, and Curtis takes the final points on offer. It's Lucky Lambert, Dan, Snap Hunter, Connie Goblin, Huggy Bear, Alvar, and the 3 drivers to finish. BJ, JB, and Prolol, and BJ Hal got disqualified with a few laps to go there, so he'll be ranked dead last. So there you have it then. There is your final results for tonight's race, and we'll be back in just a moment to go to interviews after a quite frankly fantastic Grand Prix. So don't go anywhere. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Join us in the aftermath of a fantastically dominant performance from Salve Grumio for his 6th win of the season. He joins us just in time for interviews. We're going to get to talk to both Pope and Fan here. Allow Fan to find his earphones, and we'll get Pope on the line. Pope, mate, you there with us?
Hello.
Well, congratulations on the podium finish there, mate. You certainly took your time there, leaving it to the last minute. Talk us through the race.
Yeah, I just wanted to make the viewers enjoy it a bit more. You know what I mean? There's a bit of tension, but no. Starting P19 after a quali ban is what it is. But I felt really confident with that entire race. So pretty happy with the result.
In terms of difficulty, because of course Singapore isn't really the track you make a lot of overtakes from. So starting 19th there, yeah, no easy feat. Did you find it too difficult to get through the field there?
No, I mean, there's a point where very early on in the race where the pack kind of split in two. I think there was an incident and it created two different packs. I thought at that point this could be a lot harder than it should be, but I think the safety car really came in clutch for me to get everyone back together, and I think from there it was pretty easy.
Were you surprised at just the one safety car stay? Because of course Singapore always serves up chaos no matter where you go. So were you surprised by that?
Yeah, no, I was trying to keep the tyres out as long as possible to maybe get a late safety car, and then I'd be on for probably a winner there, or at least be battling for P2, maybe even P1. I did feel like I had the pace, maybe not Blaze's pace, but pace nonetheless.
Yeah, definitely. He ran away with it. Any thoughts on the championship there? Because of course your teammate Che now 45 points out in the rest of the time. Can he still do it?
I still back him. He's a fantastic driver. I don't really know where I am in the championship. I've not really looked at it because I don't really want to. But at the end of the day,
I can tell you if you want.
Yeah, go for it, mate.
Alright, so going into this one, you are 10th in the championship, tied with Lycon. You've just got 18 points there, so that'll probably put you around. It might move you up to P9 over PJ Khaled.
Yeah, it's not great. It's been probably my worst season in RDL, bar my debut season, so I'm not happy with it. A lot of unluckiness and then just pure driver error, but hopefully this is a way upwards. I like the end of the season, always have done, so fingers crossed we can see more podiums for Pope.
Yeah, definitely. It's Japan next time out. How's Japan as a track for you? You looking forward to it?
I fucking love it. Sorry for language. Absolutely love it. It's a fantastic track. I think I've won RDL Japan a couple of times, if I'm correct. I don't know. You're the stat man, so you'll probably figure it out for next race, but I feel pretty good there. Feel fast, that's the main thing, and feel confident to keep it on track.
Sounds good, Roger. Well, hopefully we'll see you back here next week. We'll have to see about that. So good luck for next week, and congratulations on tonight. So we'll leave you to it.
Thank you very much. Also appreciate it, mate. Thank you for streaming.
No worries. So there was your third place finisher, Touch Me Pope there, and we'll talk to Fan now. So we'll get him in on the second place finish. Fantastic stuff from him tonight. Fan, mate, you there with us?
Hey, mate.
Well, that was an exciting race from our perspective. We'll have to have yours here. Second place tonight. Give us your thoughts.
Yeah, not that exciting for me, to be honest. It was just one of those ones where me and BJ made the call before the race. If there was a safety car from lap 4 onwards, we'd box and just take the hards to the end. And obviously that's what happened. So from there, yeah, once we'd boxed, we always knew we were going to the end. So it was just a case of getting there. Luckily enough, it paid off in the end.
Yeah, definitely. Of course, managed to just about stick over in second place at the end. Of course, in terms of that challenge of managing the tyres, how did you find that? Was that too difficult for you, or were you able to handle it?
No, it was fine because obviously once me and BJ had boxed, I think there was only one or two others that did. So we were always a pit stop ahead of everyone else from that point onwards. So once we cleared the traffic, I think I was 3 or 4 seconds behind BJ. I was never going to push to catch him. And then it was just about managing and keeping the life in him, just in case Zach or Pope or anyone came at us at the end. But no, it was not the most exciting day at the office, to be honest.
Fair enough, but I mean, with good points from McLaren towards the end. I do especially like the team game between you guys there. What happened to BJ towards the end of it? We just missed it, but he spin out the last corner. Did you get any eye of
that? Not until I came around the corner and saw him in the wall. Yeah, I think he just lost it on the last corner. I don't really know why. I've sent him a message, but I haven't spoken to him properly yet. I can't imagine he was pushing. But obviously, Grumio had that 3-second penalty and sort of played chicken a little bit with the pit stop. So whether he was trying to keep up with him and stay within that window, I'm not sure.
Fair enough. All right, last question for you before we let you go. Of course, next time out, Japan. A few more rounds left to go in the season. Can we see a victory from you perhaps coming? Or is that too much to ask?
Hopefully. If South keeps putting in performances like that, then it might be a little bit too much to ask.
Fair enough.
But we'll see. We'll see. I usually get 1 or 2 a season. I think I've already got my one for this year out the way pretty early, so we'll see. I'm never going to win a race here on outright pace, so I'm just relying on something else going wrong.
I mean, as you
for
know,
the other guys. So.
You've heard me say enough times in other leagues, your best victory to the ones that are created out of chaos. So we'll look out for that chaos and see you perhaps arise from the smoke later on. So congratulations on the podium finish then.
Fingers crossed.
We'll leave you to it.
Cheers, mate.
You have a good
See
night.
you later.
No worries.
You too. Bye.
Bye. So there we go then. There was your second podium finisher, second on the night, C110P fan. And that'll be the end of our stream then. So in terms of that Drivers' Championship, 45 points to lead for Grumio. Can Che still do it? Is it over for him? Or is this a 6th championship on the way to Grumio and another Constructors' Championship going Aston Martin's way? Make sure to subscribe to the channel because this championship is not going anywhere. Next week, the 1st of May, the Japanese Grand Prix from the Suzuka circuit. Always says that Chaos had a brilliant reverse grid race last year. So we'll see what has in store for us this time around. Make sure to, as I say, subscribe for any future RDL content as we near the end of the season. And until next time, you guys, hope you guys enjoyed this one. Have a good night, and I shall see you next time. Goodbye.